What's up guys? My name is Joss and you're watching squibblesreads. Today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag. The first question is, why did you start this channel? I started this channel because a lot of my real life friends don't really read really intensely like I do. I read a lot. I'm always constantly looking for new books to read. And I started this channel because I think there are so many people to reach out to on Booktube. Even if I just know I'm really interested in finding a new book, or I'm really bored with my collection of books right now. And I also started this channel to make friends. Everyone says that Booktube is a really welcoming community, and I'm really looking forward to kind of delving into that and watching people's hauls, watching people's TBRs, and seeing kind of like what the theme for the month is. For October, it's kind of like spooky covers or like spooky stories. So I just think that's like so much fun, and it's like a big party without actually being a party because I hate parties. The second question is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? I think everyone is kind of fun and unique in their own way. I think for me personally, I'm really obsessed with Disney. I love Disney. My favorite princess in the whole world is Rapunzel. Oh my gosh, Rapunzel is so fantastic! And I really love Inside Out. Inside Out, I think, is such a great movie in so many ways, and Carl and Ellie are just the perfect couple, so you'll probably hear a lot of Disney references in my videos. I don't know if that answers the question, but I think that makes me unique. Maybe. The third question is, what are you most excited about for this new channel? I'm honestly really excited to have an excuse to talk to myself. I talk to myself all the time. I talk to myself when I'm cooking, I talk to myself in the shower, I talk to myself when I'm walking out the door, I talk to myself to remember things. You know, do you have your keys? Do you have your wallet? Do you have your books? Do you have your backpack? Do you have your selfie stick? Do you have all these things? And I always talk to myself, and now I have this excuse to talk to myself, and it's great. Fourth question is, why do you love reading? I love reading because I can't always express myself the way that I want to. That is really frustrating to me, so when I read and I really connect with a character, it's kind of like I'm using the author's words to describe the experiences and the emotions that I feel without actually having to use my brain energy to come up with those words myself. I also really like going into other people's worlds and experiencing things from another person's point of view. If we could actually do that in real life, it would be so great. But we can't, so reading about it and just seeing it in our own minds, I think that is such a fantastic thing, and we are really privileged to be able to do that, and I like doing that as much as possible. The fifth question is, what book or series got you into reading? I used to read in elementary school, and I remember reading books like Junie B. Jones, or The Magic Treehouse, or The Magic School Bus, or The Bailey School Kids, but I don't think any of those books actually got me into reading. I think the first book that actually got me into reading was Matilda by Roald Dahl. Matilda is fantastic. I love Matilda. I went to see the musical in San Francisco a couple of months ago, and it was just so great. I cried so much. But Matilda basically taught me that it's okay to love reading. It is okay to love learning. It is okay to really stand up for what you believe in, and to really stand up for people who are kind and people who don't step on other people to get what they want, and to stand up for compassion, and to stand up for intelligence, and stand up for all the things that Matilda stood up for in the book. It really just taught me that being me is okay, and that sounds so cheesy, but it's so true. I love Matilda. The second book that I really think got me into reading was the fourth Harry Potter book. It is my favorite of the Harry Potter series. I don't care if all y'all like the third one, because the fourth one is where it's at. The fourth Harry Potter book really helped me because when I was sick, it was literally the only book that I would read. I would lie on the floor with my hardcover book in my little child hands, holding my book above my face, and it would just help me heal. It would help me not be sick anymore, because I could just read about Harry's world, and I could read about Hogwarts, and I could read about all these things that were not my little miserable world being sick lying on my floor. I would just read it over and over again until I was better, and I really think so much that there's like a little medicine man inside that book, and it's like, Jocelyn, you need to get better, please get better. And it really helped me get better, so the fourth Harry Potter book really helped me get into reading. The next question is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel would be the hardest to overcome? For For me personally, I think the hardest challenge to overcome is just finding time to do all these things. I know filming may only take like half an hour and editing may only take like an hour, and putting on your makeup before you film, which I do, it takes like 15 minutes, but all those things put together is like another 2 or 3 hours in my day, and I am a really busy grad student. Just finding the energy and the time to do that I think is going to be really challenging for me. I know I can do it because I really want to do it, but it is going to be hard. The next question is, when did I start reading? I started reading for as long as I can remember. I remember that I had this wooden book, and it was a Tom and Jerry book. And my mom used to be an accountant, and I used to go into her office. I would always go up to her coworkers and I would be like, oh my gosh, do you want to hear me read this book? I can read, I'm so cool, watch me read. I would just like run through her office and I would read this book a million times to all of her colleagues. And after that, I kept reading because my dad was really into reading, and he loved knowledge and he loves books, and every time me and my dad would have a little like daddy and daughter time, we would go to Chapters. And Chapters is the Canadian version of Barnes & Noble. And we would always go to Chapters and we would get some hot tea from Starbucks. And then we would go and we would browse all the books, and we would either pick out a book and we would sit and read, or we would talk about all the different books that we found, or we'd be like, hey dad, is that book cool? I don't know. Oh, that looks interesting, or oh, that looks too long. Or we would just sit and read silently. But whatever we were doing, it was a really bonding activity for me. And just because reading brought me closer to my dad, it brought me closer to reading itself. So that's why I kept reading. The next question is, where do you read? And the answer to that question is, where don't I read? I do most of my reading in bed. I read a lot before bed, even if it's just like 20 to 30 minutes. I always read before bed. So I think 90 to 95% of my reading is done in bed. And the last question is, what kind of books do you like to read? I get most of my books from just like the fiction section. Like when you walk into Barnes & Noble, it's just fiction. I get a lot of my books from there. I also really enjoy reading crime and true crime books. I really like Dateline and 48 Hours and 2020 and Disappeared and Solved and ID Discovery or whatever. I really like that channel. So I like reading true crime as well. I also really like reading romance. I have a degree in psych, and I really like just seeing the interactions between people in good relationships, dysfunctional relationships, marriages, third marriages, fourth marriages, whatever. I really like to read about that. And I also really like psychology books. I know that there's not like a huge demand for psych books on YouTube, but I might briefly mention them like in my TBRs or my wrap-ups or whatever. I also kind of like young adults. I like some young adults. I think some young adult is super profound, and I think that the genre is just like this huge potential to be so impactful. When we go through our adolescence, it's just a time of like turmoil, and it's a time of just like finding ourselves. Some authors do a really great job of hitting home with that. One of my favorite books is All the Bright Places. It took me so long to recover from All the Bright Places. I came out of my bedroom, it was a Sunday morning, it was 11 o'clock in the morning. I came out of my bedroom after being done reading All the Bright Places, and I went to my kitchen to make pancakes. And I just remember trying to make pancakes and just like bawling while I was making my pancakes. All the Bright Places is such a beautiful book. And I think even if you didn't like that book, young adult fiction has the potential to be that impactful. So that's all for now. If you guys have any questions, recommendations, or you just want to say hi, make sure you leave me a comment down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. That's all for now, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!